Night of the Living Dead.
This video was sponsored by the World Caregiver Network. For more information, visit www.worldcaregivernetwork.com.
Hello everyone, this is Charles F. Gray, Atari Charles. We are going on the Gray Graveyard Walk. Yes, indeed. You know what? I don't have any beaches by my house. We don't have the greatest weather here, but we do have cemeteries. So I'm going to walk in the cemetery here. Hopefully there's no ghouls or no zombies. I've seen a few shapes over there. Hopefully they're human and not undead, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, it's a wonderful day out. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Well, you know, in the cemetery. I always found it interesting people lived by cemeteries. I guess, hey, you got the quietest neighbors around. It would just be weird to be in your backyard and then on the other side of your fence, as in the case of definitely people over there that live over there, and some people that live over here, although I think there's a patch of grass between it. I don't know if they're going to expand the cemetery or build something else. I have no idea. But anyways, basically, it would just be kind of weird to live by a cemetery. Even though I'm a big fan of zombie movies. The problem is basically, in my imagination, I don't know if I would sleep comfortably at night living by a cemetery. Even though it's, you know, fiction, right? So, anyways, we'll show you the houses back here. So we got the fence. We got land. I guess you can see the land there. And then on the other side of the expanse of basically wilderness, to be honest with you, although I think it's city property, are houses. Even that would be a little bit strange, of course. But some of these houses, they border you. They're in their backyard. There's their fence. There's some bushes, and then you're in the cemetery. So obviously, if there was a zombie plague or whatever, wouldn't be too good for them, right? If it was, you know, the stereotypical Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead situation. Because that's where, well, morgues and hospitals would not be a good place to live by as well. So anyways, I'm going to talk about zombie movies and I guess my love of zombie movies, my enjoyment of zombie movies. I've done other videos on my experience, you know, watching, you know, Dawn of the Dead or the original Night of the Living Dead or the Tom Savini 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead, which is awesome. But I'm going to tell you probably my 3 favorite zombie movies of all time in this order. I'll say horror movies. I'm not going to say all movies. I'm going to say horror movies would be... see, this part they haven't put any graves in yet, but I'm sure it will come. And then it's interesting, on the other side of this is a Jehovah's Witnesses church, I should say. So anyways, or temple or whatever they call it. So out of all, like any genre that would be horror, my favorite 3 movies of all time in order. My most favorite is Dawn of the Dead from 1978, the George Romero classic. I prefer within that, because there's like the theatrical cut, there's the European cut, and then there's the extended cut, and then there's a bootleg called the extended mall hours cut, I believe. And I would say the extended mall hours cut is my favorite because basically it has everything in it. Nothing's cut. Just totally awesome movie. I found the US theatrical release to be, they cut it down way too much, and there's definitely cool scenes that they totally cut out from it. Okay. Second most favorite horror movie of all time is Night of the Living Dead 1990, which is a remake of the 1968 Night of the Living Dead. And this remake was, you know, directed by Tom Savini. And you know him from Dawn of the Dead as, it was a Blade, I believe, as well as basically as a famous like makeup artist. He's done makeup for many of the Friday the 13th movies, fucking Dawn of the Dead. I think he did the makeup for Day of the Dead. And the list goes on, right? A creep show, perhaps. Actually a very cool guy. People seem to think he's an asshole. I know when I've emailed him, he's actually emailed me back. Seems like a very pleasant guy. Okay, and also basically based on this other video I saw where it's a horror channel where they go to his place of business where he, you know, teaches special effects and all of that, or as well as other people teach it, makeup, so on and so forth, as well as basically to his own home. So seemed like a decent guy, actually. I didn't sense any arrogance about him at all. But yeah, he's not going to want to answer the same questions 50 million times. You got to understand that. Okay, so that's my second favorite movie. My third favorite movie, I would say, and I've quoted it in some of my videos, more brains, is Return of the Living Dead, the first one. I like it. I didn't see it in the theater originally. I saw it on VHS. I really enjoyed the movie. It is a spin-off, I guess you can say, of Night of the Living Dead, and it even accepts that Night of the Living Dead, the movie, was based on real events. So yeah, I think it's good. I think it's cool. Now there's many other horror movies I like, but obviously the zombie genre is my favorite. But those are the first three. Let's see. Okay, we're doing good here. I just want to make sure I'm not running out of space. So again, my first favorite movie, Dawn of the Dead, 1978, the original. The second, extended mall hours cut, the bootleg version, which of course that's what it is. It just has everything in there, nothing's cut. They took all the scenes from all three and put them together, so there's nothing missing. As for a second movie, of course, is Night of the Living Dead, the 1990 remake by Tom Savini. And third favorite movie is Return of the Living Dead, because I don't know, it's kind of a fun movie. Its special effects are very, very cool. Some cool zombies in there as well. So anyways, I'm kind of sticking on this side of the cemetery because there's just people over there and I don't want to be talking and them there, and you know. But yeah, I mean, the zombie genre, folks, I actually do really enjoy it. And I think part of it is the horror that I felt as a kid, as a pre-teenager, I guess you can say, preteen, watching Dawn of the Dead 1978, you know, on VHS. Fucking loved the movie, but obviously got some horrible nightmares after it. It's pretty cool, but I really loved that movie. And then, you know, it was almost for a time that I enjoyed zombie movies, but I didn't want to own the physical copies. I did have Night of the Living Dead on VHS, the original 1968 one. But I didn't want to, it was this weird thing where I felt like, as a teenager, I didn't actually want to own these movies, because it almost felt like maybe it would give me more nightmares even just owning them, which seems really strange, right? But yeah, I mean, it's just a horror element. It's a horrific, like, an animated corpse, like a zombie, is basically the, I'm just gonna walk here. An animated corpse is basically like it's an abomination of what life is. So that part of it's very horrific. Also the other, I'm gonna walk by the fence, I don't want to fall in any graves, although the graves are this way, as you can kind of see. The other thing is, so they're horrific as they are, even though they're slow and everything else. The other thing is basically when you get them in great numbers, even though they're slow, they do not rest. You could run for a mile, you could be a marathon runner, but that zombie will eventually catch up to you, because it'll be slow, but as long as it kind of knows where you are, and if you've, you know, it'll eventually fucking catch up to you, right? And they don't give up, they don't stop, basically. And you can't bargain with a zombie. You can't negotiate like a vampire. You can say, oh, I'll tell you what, I'll bring you a bunch of free blood if you don't kill me, or I'll be your daytime protector if you don't kill me. And the vampire will be like, okay, that's a deal. Whereas basically these zombies, you can't negotiate with them. And they're stupid, but they're smart enough to use basic tools and things like that and figure out basic things that make them deadly as well. Yeah, I just don't want to go where that, there's a lady and her kid here, and I don't know. I think she's just bored and just like visiting here with her kid or something, or grandkid. But I'm gonna go into the seated area. Hopefully there's not too many mosquitoes. Yeah, it's just the horrific aspect of the whole thing. And then you have, of course, a situation where there's too many zombies, and it's you know, it's a zombie apocalypse. It literally is a zombie apocalypse. And that's horrific, because now you're in a type of Dawn of the Dead or Day of the Dead or Land of the Dead or The Walking Dead type of situation. Now I'm going to tell you what I don't like about some zombie movies really quickly. First off, what I don't like is I don't like zombies that can run. You know, they're super fast, so on and so forth, or things like that. I'm not a big fan of that. I think if it's dead, as George Romero said, if it's dead, it's going to be slow. You know, there's going to be rigor mortis. They're not going to be like a marathon athlete. So that's what I didn't like about Dawn of the Dead from 2004, I believe, the remake. Great movie, but running zombies, stupid. World War Z was even fucking more ridiculous, where they ran like fucking beyond, like supernatural creatures. I thought that was stupid. So these fast running, or whether a marathon runner, kind of like Dawn of the Dead 2004, or like World War Z, where they're super fast, the movie, not the book, because in the book they're slow moving. So I don't like the fast zombie. I think it's bullshit. I think it's full of shit, basically. I'm not a big fan of it. As for other things I don't like about some zombie movies, is I don't like the World War Z, the book, because I've read the Zombie Survival Guide as well as the book by World War Z, Max Brooks. What I don't like about his stuff, and really my only complaint, I like how he breaks it down to a virus and all this other stuff. But what I don't like, or the cause of it being a virus, what I don't like, fuck, I almost smell weed. That's funny. Weed in the cemetery. I don't think it's that lady, but it's funny. You get that smell. What I don't like is, of course, where he basically says zombies have no residual memories. All it is instinct. So if you have a person on one side of a cliff and there's a big chasm, and then on another cliff on the other side, okay, so you have a human being on one side standing there, and on the other side you have a bunch of zombies. The zombies will just walk off. The zombies will just walk off mindlessly off the cliff, trying to get to the person, and that's retarded. Like, that's stupid. I don't like that at all. That a zombie would stop at the cliff and be like, know that it will fall, and it will stop short of the cliff. It may be clumsy, it may fall in anyways, but it's not going to mindlessly walk over. And that's what I don't like about Max Brooks zombies, where there's no instinct, they're mindless. And I would say the George Romero movie, or George Romero zombie archetype, I guess you can say, that really is the best. It really is the best, because honestly, it is, you're having a situation where it's slow moving, runs on instinct, has some residual memories, can figure out basic things, can use basic tools as weapons or to get into places. And that would be kind of more, it's more horrific that way, and it's kind of more what I would consider a little bit more realistic, because you would think there would be some residual memories. And I like how in Land of the Dead, where the zombies would kind of like grunt or whatever, and or at least a smarter one could kind of figure out things, grunt, and like figure out use of a machine gun and things like that. I think it was like Big Daddy, that was the name of that zombie. So the thing is, that type of stuff, you know, is cool. But I mean, yeah, the quick moving zombies and the idea of zombies not having any residual memories, literally they're just instinct, stupid. The marathon, or beyond the marathon running, like the supernatural, like godlike speed of the zombies in World War Z, stupid. Sorry, it's dumb. Brad Pitt, I'm sorry. You fucking should have slowed down the zombies, man. You should have. But anyways, folks, those are kind of my two pet peeves of zombie movies. But people can make them as they wish. That's pretty much it. So anyways, beautiful day at the cemetery here. See the background. It's that lady and her kid or grandkid, whatever. They took off, so that's good. I'm kind of self-conscious when I film, and then it's like there's all these people around. But anyways, folks, this was a wonderful tour of the cemetery. This is Charles F. Gray, aka Atari Charles, over and out. Please like, please share, and please subscribe, and hopefully I get out of here alive. Take care. Cheers.
This video was sponsored by the World Caregiver Network. For more information, visit www.worldcaregivernetwork.com.